can improve your English faster by reading. Here's how you do it. Read more. Seriously, that is the video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Okay, I'm being facetious, which is a great C2 word, which means to treat a serious subject with inappropriate humor. I'm being a bit facetious. I'm joking, but there is a massive truth here. Most learners are starving for daily English exposure, and reading is the feast. Now, I'm a total bookworm. I'm naturally, therefore, going to want to extol or praise the virtues of reading. But I'm not just speaking as a book lover here. I've also been teaching English for over 25 years, from English university entrance courses in Scotland to helping refugees build their ESL literacy from the ground up. And over the years as an educator, one thing became very obvious. Many learners make reading much harder than it actually needs to be. Today, I'm showing you how to read in a way that genuinely builds your fluency fast. Reading matters because it immerses you in how English actually behaves. You see how sentences are built and how words fit together in natural chunks, and how native speakers move from one idea to another. This also makes vocabulary sticky. You don't just meet a word in a boring vocabulary list, you see it inside a story, a bigger context. This builds a mental library that improves your writing and also your speaking if you practice in the right way, which we'll talk about in a moment. The biggest mistake I see, ego reading. This is when a learner decides to improve their English reading and immediately grabs a hugely complicated text, and it's just a recipe for frustration. I've unfortunately seen this so many times with my students, so many years, and it just creates a vicious cycle. They want to be a good reader, they pick the wrong book, they struggle, and they end up hating reading. To find your flow state where you are challenged but not overwhelmed, use my rule of 3. Open a book to a random page, and if there are more than 3 genuinely unknown words on that page, then it's too difficult for you for extensive reading. You want the experience to feel easy so that you can really build the habit. Once you have the right book, you also have to learn to tolerate ambiguity. When I taught native English speakers reading skills for university entrance exams, I noticed that even they would panic the moment they came across a big fancy word or a technical word that they didn't know the meaning of. And I had to remind them often that you do not need a perfect understanding of every word to be able to understand the text in general. And this is, of course, the same for non-native speakers. Don't let the dictionary interrupt your reading flow and your reading enjoyment. Practice reading for the joy of the story. If a word is truly beautiful or genuinely useful, note it down quickly with the page number in your vocabulary journal, but then keep moving, keep reading, and then come back to study the word later at a different time when you can write out the full quote, the full sentence that the word is in. You can study the meaning, you can look at the synonyms, and so on. Collecting words is, of course, just a good first step. The real magic happens when you move the word from your vocabulary journal into your brain. To make that transition easier, I've built a tool specifically for you. It's called the Active Vocabulary Coach. It is a free custom GPT chatbot that I designed to act like a personal tutor, helping you take those words from your reading vocabulary journal and use them in real conversation practice. You can find the link to grab that in the description below. We've covered why reading is important and how to find the right level of book, but it's also important to remember to vary the genre or type of text that you are reading. so that you have the best chance of finding the perfect mix of the right level and a subject that you are genuinely interested in. Try fiction, non-fiction, memoirs, blogs, or even graded readers, which are specially adapted books meant to help English learners. And don't look down on comics and graphic novels. They are jam-packed, as in full, of natural dialogue and slang. Speaking of variety, I'm always looking for new book recommendations. Tell me in the comments, what are you reading right now? And what level of learner would you recommend it for? Moving from an activity like scrolling short form videos on your phone to an activity like sustained reading of a book is a massive cognitive shift. If it feels difficult, that's not a personal feeling. It's just that you need to either build or rebuild the skill of sitting down to read. One of the best pieces of advice from the book Atomic Habits is that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So let's make the system for actually building your daily English reading habit easy. Use a trigger. Identify a habit you already have, like brushing your teeth, and use that as your signal to get into bed and open your book, for example. Make it obvious. Leave your book somewhere visible, like your nightstand, so you don't have to go looking for it. Keep it simple. Read just one page every day. Reading one page each and every day is much more impactful than reading 50 pages, once a month or whenever you remember. Aim for consistency of habit over intensity at the beginning. Establish the habit first and then you can add to it. Okay, so you've got the habit, you're reading every day in English. You're building that virtuous cycle of increasing your vocabulary and your reading confidence. That's the foundation. But now we need to get to the part that you actually came here to this video for. How to turn that reading into actual speaking confidence and fluency. Because let's be honest, you don't want to just be an excellent reader, you want to be a powerful speaker. The problem most learners face is the gap between receptive skills and productive skills. As you probably know, reading is receptive. You're taking information in. Speaking is productive. You are pushing information out. You can't build a productive muscle by only doing receptive work. It's kind of like watching someone lift weights and then wondering why you aren't getting stronger just from watching them. To bridge that gap, it's really important that you turn what you are reading into something that you can speak about. Here are some simple but powerful ways that you can do that on a daily basis. Firstly, summarize what you have read. So after you've read your one page of English for the day, explain in your own words what you read, as if you were talking to a friend. But try to focus on having a clear beginning, middle, and end to what you're saying. Or you could simply state your opinion. Consider whether you agree or disagree with what the author was describing and just speak that out loud. Or you might want to read aloud part of the text, for example, some really engaging dialogue or an interesting paragraph. So those are some useful things that you can do every single day that don't take much time. For a bit of a bigger task, you could choose a book that has a film version and then you could record yourself giving a little bit of a longer speech about the difference between the book and the film, for example. It can also help to join a community of people who are reading and speaking, and my book club, called the Read to Speak Book Club, was specifically created for that reason, to help you with reading accountability and to give you an opportunity to practice speaking about what you have been reading. Click the link below for more information about the book club. Many folks want to work on their English, but they get really overwhelmed because they don't know where to start. My honest advice to you is this: keep it simple. Read more, speak more. Commit to reading one page a day in English and commit to speaking for about 1 minute about what you've read. Build your daily habit from there. It is a really simple daily system, but it is incredibly impactful if you actually do it every single day. And remember, small daily actions are much more impactful than sporadic big actions. If you are looking for a book that talks about the power of tiny changes that will help you learn to build good habits and break bad ones, then you should watch this video, which gives a review of the bestseller Atomic Habits. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.